Welcome to Brea Talks, an insider's look into topics that affect your experiences in the city of Brea. Whether you live, work, or play here, we're bringing you the information you need to better understand your city. So now, we invite you to listen in as Brea Talks. Hello and welcome. I'm Dan Fenstermaker, and today Brea Talks Serving Brea. One thing the city of Brea prides itself on is our incredibly supportive and involved community. Both our residents and businesses do so much throughout the year to make this city and even this world a better place. Today we're going to discuss a few of the opportunities that residents and businesses have to give back through city-sponsored programs. Fostering a community of serving starts with providing opportunities for young people, instilling that sense of giving early on so that as each generation grows, it passes it to the next. And I got a chance to sit down with my boss and fellow host of this very podcast, Brea's Public Information Officer, Liz Ferris, to discuss the annual Mayor's Youth Award program. Hi, Liz. Thanks for jumping to the other side of the table for this episode to tell us a little bit about the Mayor's Youth Awards.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here to talk about this great award program for the youth in Brea.
So first, a little background. So how and when did the Mayor's Youth Award program get started?
Okay, so the program was actually started in 1997 by then Mayor Glenn Parker, right? He was on the council in the 90s, and then he was just recently on council. So he developed this program, established it, because he really wanted to foster volunteering service at a young age. Mm-hmm. And we've seen how, it really is important to have this opportunity. We know, through this program, we see, the number of students we have participating, there is a big drive for volunteering, and this is a great way to reward them and incentivize them to do it.
Sure. Okay. So then how does the program work?
Okay. So it's a high school level program. So when I say Brea students, it can be, you can go to any school as long as you're a Brea resident. Okay. And we have this tracking form. It's laid out pretty simply. You can start as soon as you graduate 8th grade. You can start collecting your service hours. Okay. You track them on this form. The goal is by the time you're a junior, you reach 120 service hours. Okay. So you do that, you turn it in, and then you get the junior level award. You get a nice letter from the mayor congratulating you. And then there's the senior level award, and then that's just 40 hours more. Okay. You need to hit 160 hours, the students. And you get a letter, plus you get a medal. And that medal, the mayor goes to the senior awards night assembly the school. And it's an award, right? It's really neat. And then they have this medal for the rest of their lives. They can wear it at high school graduation. Yeah. We invite them back to a council meeting and recognize them. Awesome. So, we know the students do it because they want to serve, but it's also nice to get recognized for your efforts. Absolutely. And I'll tell you, some of these students, they don't stop at 160. I've seen upwards of 200 hours. Wow. That have been volunteered.
That's awesome.
So it's a great program, and it's very popular and pretty simple to follow, right? Mm-hmm. Do your tracking forms. We ask that the service be with a nonprofit organization that has significant benefit to Brea. So, it's worded that way because does the organization have to physically be in Brea? Mm-hmm. Yes, of course, that's our preference, but we also understand there's regional organizations, right? Like one examples is the American Red Cross. Right. Of course, it serves Brea residents. We don't have an office or facility per se in the city, but if they're serving their hours there, we can, the community, a Brea resident can benefit from it.
Or the Second Harvest Food Bank, which, services Brea, but isn't necessarily a Brea organization.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's where it's worded that way for a reason, because it's like, no, it doesn't have to just be within city limits. But if a resident can benefit from that nonprofit, then we're open to taking it. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's really neat to see all the different places the students spend their time volunteering. It's pretty straightforward. May 1st is always the deadline to turn in your tracking form. And the rest of the students just kind of handle on their own. And of course, we're here to answer questions. All this information is available on the city's website.
Okay.
And we have contact info. They can drop in, send us an email. We always ask students if they have a doubt or they're wondering if where they're volunteering is eligible, check with us, right? Because we hate for students to commit a bunch of hours and then realize that's not really going to work or fit the criteria.
Now, I know 100 years ago when I graduated high school, we had to complete service hours just to graduate, just through our school. Is this something that do you know if the school district honors both? Is it kept separate?
Sure. So I know Brea High School has its own community service program, right? Because a lot of times we see them both interacting. Now, I know in our case, because again, the whole purpose here is to honor students for volunteering for their service, not trying to make it hard or tricky or whatnot. Right. But at the same time, too, if they volunteered 100 hours, it's 100 hours. It's not 200 hours.
Right.
So, but they're also, they're busy. So what we do is, even if the student is doing hours toward the high school's program, we'll take half of those toward our program. Okay. So it's like they're getting 150 hours.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
100 over there, we'll take 50. So we work with the students again. It's an encouraging program, not one that we're trying to catch them on.
Right.
Now I don't know the high school's criteria or parameters.
Okay.
But I know with our Mayor's Youth Award, we try to award as many students as we can.
Sure. It's about fostering the desire to serve.
Right. It's like with a habit, something you just get used to as a kid, and then the hope is you spend the rest of your life, volunteering and serving others.
That's great. So you talked a little bit about it. Just briefly go into detail a little more, if you can, about how a student gets involved in this program. Where do they start?
Sure. So, a lot of times they'll just hear about it. If they go to our website, cityofbrea.gov, and search for Mayor's Youth Award, they will learn all about the program. There's also a tracking form online that you click and you can print out, and that's where we're trying to figure out a more digital way.
Sure.
We're not quite there yet, but they can go and print this form as many times as they need to fill out and track their hours. I will say, I encourage students to track along the way. Because, once you're a junior and, here's a deadline, let me go back and get all the signatures. Because we require signatures from whomever supervised them. And then we require a parent signature at the end. So keep it with you. I've seen some forms come in super ratty. And I know they've worked on this for many years. So that's that's really neat. But really, it's as easy as that. Come get our form. I know we partner with the high school. We can't do this without their support.
Right.
So they have information at the high school as well. The counselors do. But, visit our website. It tells you all about it. Has the form. And they just need to, pick an organization, right? The city has volunteer opportunities, right? But there are many organizations.
Do they have to pick one, or can they pick multiple?
No, they can pick multiple.
Okay.
They can do as many as we want. We have no limits.
Okay.
We have no limits. And it's, it's neat to see where students have their interest. And that's where a lot of times they'll do their hours. If, it's like an internship in a way.
Sure.
It kind of gives them a glimpse of, this is what it could be like working in a dentist's office or ushering at the Curtis Theater.
Yeah, exactly.
So really, we keep it wide open and make it really an initiative on the students' end to find their place, to volunteer, and then just track their hours, meet the minimum, and turn it in.
Awesome. What a great program. Well, thank you, Liz.
You're welcome.
I
Thanks
appreciate
for letting me
this.
talk about it.
Of course. Thank you. Great job, boss. Good job. Again, thanks for. I know you're typically used to being on this side, so
That's okay. This is fun.
Yeah.
This is a fun program. I've been involved with it for 25 years, so it's
awesome.
It's near and dear to me.
Very great. Very great. There was Brea PIO Liz Ferris talking about the Mayor's Youth Award program, but that isn't the only volunteer program Brea offers to young people. The Brea Volunteen program is another great way for teens to get involved. And I sat down with Victoria Ugarte from the Brea Resource Center to discuss just that. Victoria, welcome back to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so the Volunteen program. When did the Volunteen program? I know that cities have Volunteen programs. It's kind of that's a popular title for these programs, these opportunities. When did it start in Brea?
Started in Brea in 1986, so almost 40 years ago.
Almost 40 years ago. Okay, so it's a the longevity of this program is impressive.
Yes.
What are some of the things over the last 4 years, and what are some of the things this year that are a little different?
Yeah. So it's going to be strictly a volunteer hour based for this summer. So there will not be stipends like there have been in the past.
Okay.
And then the areas that we have available this summer are going to be the aquatics, which is at the Brea Plunge, the summer day camp, community development, Tiny Tots, Summer Fun Club, the sports area, Curtis Theater, the fitness center, and then communications and marketing as well.
Okay. And do you know offhand of which of those are new? I know that now being in communications and marketing, we've had some volunteers in the past, and they are fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
They're great. They're a huge help and a great experience. Of those, do you know which ones are new that we want to highlight?
I would say that actually the communications and marketing is still relatively pretty new. So that one is like one of our bigger asks. So communication and marketing is a big one. Fitness center is expanding, so they're going to take on additional. And then, so those are kind of like our big...
push for
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's start from the beginning in terms of a teen wants to join the Volunteen program. What's the first step?
Sure. Applications will be available online at the city website.
Okay.
So they'd go to the city website, find the Volunteen program. They're going to be available. You just fill it out online, submit it online, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty easy. They will be available March 31st online. Okay. They might be a little bit earlier, but let's just go with March 31st.
Okay.
Online. And then they are due, the absolute latest they're due is April 25th. And we jump right into interviews right after April 25th. So we won't be able to do any late submissions. So if it is something that they're interested in, they want to definitely jump on it before the end of April.
Got a little bit less than a month, but then after that, it's on.
It's on. We go straight into the program, straight into interviews, straight into orientation, and then straight into the summer.
So like from application deadline through interviews to orientation, what's the timeline on that? What can they expect?
Right. So you can expect to have interviews will be, I would say, April 30th and May 1st.
Okay.
And then we'll jump right into, getting you all situated, T-shirt sizes, those kind of things. And then parent orientation will be happening May 21st in the evening. And that one is mandatory. So they can definitely expect to have parent orientation May 21st. And then summer starts, I believe it starts June 8th, if not a little bit sooner. They go right into it. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Background checks, any kind of that thing? I mean...
No.
Nothing that crazy?
Nothing crazy for the volunteers. It's really just fill out your application, answer all the questions that are on the application, and then a pretty quick interview. Nothing too crazy. We want to get everybody kind of... an introduction into the workforce and what to expect in your first interviews is kind of like, a good practice for those looking to kind of get some experience before joining the workforce. And so we think that this is a good kind of starting point for them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a ton of success stories that have come out of this program, and maybe even a couple of employees that we have here that probably started in this program.
Yes, for sure. We have had multiple. At least I know of several over at the community center who started as volunteers, and then made their way whether into front counter or into after school program day camp, into Tiny Tots. It's been just a great program overall.
It's a great introduction to, like you said, to the workforce, and especially if you have any interest in serving your community.
Yeah, definitely. If you're interested in local government, public jobs, this is definitely a great introduction to that.
Awesome. Victoria, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
So that was Victoria Ugarte from the Brea Resource Center. Lastly, there's been some shifts in Brea's program of consolidating broader volunteer needs as well as inquiries and applications. And I spoke with the members of the Brea Special Events team, Kristen Steyerman and Ashley Reed, about the latest shift in this effort. Ladies, thanks for coming in. I appreciate you both taking the time. Special events in the house.
Thank you. We're so excited to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. All right. So Brea's volunteer program, as it is has kind of gone through several different brands, several different iterations under several different, roofs of the community services department. And now it is under your roof. It's under special events roof. Tell us a little bit about the new look of Brea's volunteer program.
Yes, so like you talked about, it's gone through different groups of people, and we're just super excited to house it in our special events division here. And just, we are people who kind of touch the community in different ways, and we're able to really connect with the community, and we thought that this would be a really awesome opportunity to do that in a little bit of a different way. So for some of you are familiar, the program used to be called Hands on Brea, and now it's going to be part of this Go Serve Brea kind of model. And we're hoping to really connect with the community and have different opportunities, different times where people can volunteer within the community.
Okay, so you're kind of rolling in the idea of volunteering into your events, and so it becomes a partnership. You're basically bringing the two worlds together, and that's why it's under your roof now. You're in charge of the events. The events need volunteers.
Exactly.
It's a match made in heaven.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I think we're looking also to have partnerships with outside organizations as well. We have a lot of great events that happen in special events, and sometimes those don't always align with people's needs. And so we're hoping that we can partner with other organizations within the community so that people can volunteer throughout the year with them as well.
Yeah, we know that the community wants to serve their community, right? We get a lot of calls, and so we want to have a place where people know, like, hey, we're going to be able to call special events, and they're going to be able to help us find either something within the city or, like Ashley talked about, with other organizations.
That's great. I mean, it makes sense to me. People call and they want to volunteer, but we don't exactly have anything necessarily for them, and maybe they feel like they get turned away. But with you guys, I mean, you guys are so busy throughout the year. You always have something you guys are putting on. You guys put on great events, and those great events are, it takes great people to put on great events, and giving and supportive people in the community to put these events on and make them so great. So, like I said, it makes perfect sense to me. I love it.
Yeah, we're really excited just to continue to build those relationships with our community.
Yeah, and we don't really have a shortage of volunteers. We constantly are getting people calling and looking for those opportunities, which is awesome.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so then somebody calls. Who do they call, and where do they go? And
Yeah, so they call the special events division, and we go through with them kind of what we're looking for. We accept an application from them, so we have that on file, and a waiver, depending on their age. And then we kind of reach out to them as we have events that come up or specific things that we need volunteering for. And so it's not always just our special events that we put on, but it's really throughout community services and the organization as well. So Public Works, We have a lot in community services. They can volunteer with the theater and the gallery and the community center. There's a lot of things that are available to the volunteers.
Next week, we will be having our Spring Craft Boutique. It's a 2-day event, and so we have over 200 vendors that attend that event. So one way that people can volunteer is that they can help load in the vendors. They could help us mark the spots. They can help vendors bring in all their merchandise and get set up, and a way for them to kind of engage with the community a little bit as well. I know Ashley talked about Public Works, and sometimes they have things that need to be painted, or projects that need to be worked on, or cleanup, or that kind of thing. And then I know Ashley didn't somebody have something for like fitness? Fitness has something.
Yeah, they have an event coming up.
Okay.
And so we kind of coordinate and communicate with the different departments or divisions who needs volunteers, and then we kind of give them the information of the volunteers that we have.
Okay. And then but for something like, and these are all great and great examples, for something more day to day, like at the senior center, would you guys also coordinate with the senior center for any volunteer needs they might have?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to be working kind of through that. But the senior center, has their core volunteers. I know that help them out exactly like you said on a day-to-day basis. But yes, we would be the place that, with the initial contact. And that's kind of what we want people to know. Like, we want people to not be confused on where to call, right? We want them to know that they come to special events, and then we can kind of help funnel out who the best contact is and where to kind of get that. Another thing we've kind of talked about too is we would like to have like these core times where we know 4 times a year we have these big volunteer opportunities. They always need like mulching on the tracks and things like that. So we're kind of like at the initial stages of like growing this program back. And so we're working through all of those details, but that's the idea, that there'll be like these different opportunities that people know, like, oh, in April, I always know that it's Go Serve Brea. And then in June, I always know that it's, help with country fair, things like that.
Love it.
Yeah, just giving people a good opportunity to come to one place and know exactly, where they're going to go and not be confused and have multiple places that they're trying to go to. So just trying to centralize that and make that a better process for people.
Yeah, and how many times have you called somewhere and you kind of get the runaround? And that's definitely what we want to avoid.
Right.
We want to be the place where people are like, okay, we know. And, sometimes just as human beings, we get nervous to like, if a child is calling and they want to volunteer and that kind of thing, it's like, we're capturing them at that initial stages of their service heart and service mentality.
Sure.
And if you, mess that up, maybe they're not going to volunteer again.
You put them
right?
off on volunteering for,
Exactly. So it's super important for that initial touch to be very like well thought out and well spoken, and that we have a game plan. So that's really, really important to us in special events.
People are used to, I want to say it's the past 9 years or so, we've had Love Brea, which is part of the Love Our Cities overarching California started Modesto. We are transitioning away from Love Brea to kind of, again, bring that into the Go Serve, or the Serve Brea program, and we're calling it Go Serve Brea. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm, correct.
Okay. So it is replacing Love Brea.
Yes.
The Serve Day is obviously just one day, but it is a more of a year-round
Exactly.
A year-round initiative.
And it's kind of like, you will go and you'll go out on that April 26th date, and then you'll have a chance to like meet us, to know like, okay, these are the people that we're going to kind of contact.
Okay.
And then have that way to like get a hold of us kind of thing. Like, it's just like this launch.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. So then let's talk about Go Serve Brea. Relatively same weekend as it's been in the past, but again, new brand. April 26th.
Yes.
Okay. And start time, the kickoff,
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
It's a Saturday. We'll
have little breakfast kind of things. We'll have like a little opening kind of ceremony, get everyone together, figure out kind of what they're going to do. Exactly the same, right?
Sure.
Figure out what they're going to do, and then they're going to go off to their project sites, and then hopefully they're going to come back and they're going to have lunch with us,
Okay.
and they're going to get an opportunity to like talk to their fellow neighbors and meet some people and build relationships.
Okay, so the exact same, but so much more in that, it's the launch of Serve Brea, of the Serve Brea program to get people psyched about doing this all year. I love that.
Yep.
Let's talk about the event, the day itself. Projects, submit projects now.
Yeah, so the projects are still open, so that information can be found on the website. So people still have the opportunity to go on there and submit projects. We're asking for it to be able to be completed within 2 to 3 hours, just because it's not a full day, and we want to have people have the opportunity to be able to come back and have lunch with us. And that is still open. So we've already got some great projects. So just some examples. We've got one from a few of the schools, different landscaping opportunities at the schools. We also have one for No Limits Learning Center, helping clean their facility. We have senior apartments. The tracks is always a popular one that's already been submitted. The Brea Museum, the Olinda Oil Museum. So we already have a lot of great projects, but there is still opportunity for people to submit.
And you said the website.
cityofbrea.gov/GoServeBrea.
Love it. Okay. cityofbrea.gov/GoServeBrea. Volunteers. I would assume you go to the same place to volunteer.
You do, and that will open up on March 17th. And it is going to look a little bit different because we are going to ask people to go to our ActiveNet. So they'll be instructed all of that information, but they will sign up through ActiveNet to sign up for their specific project. And that'll help us capture their information and shirt size and all of that good stuff too. And so also be on the lookout. We're excited to engage with the community. We want you to help us pick the shirt colors. So yes. So
that's a big decision.
I know, right? So we're excited about that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So you can find that. We'll probably be posting that soon on our Instagram at Brea Special Events. So check it out there. And there's also more information about the day as well.
Now, the 3 major components that make up a great event like this are obviously you guys. You guys do a great job.
Thank you.
The community and their volunteering efforts, and last and absolutely not least, sponsorships. We would not be able to do these events without sponsors. Talk to us a little bit about the sponsorship opportunities for this event.
Yeah, I think you kind of nailed it right on the head. We're here as our special events team, and we're really facilitating and organizing, but we wouldn't be able to do this without our sponsors. It's really by the community for the community, because the community members are giving money and sponsoring the event, and that's really what is able for us to be able to do the projects and complete them for the community.
Well, thank you both so much. I really appreciate you being here talking to us about these changes to the volunteer program. You guys already do a great job with special events, and I know when you bridge special events with volunteering opportunities, the sky's the limit. And I know these special events are gonna take off even further, and just really thanks to you guys and the community's support in making Brea a better place.
Thank you so much for having us. We were super happy to spend some time with you.
Yeah, and a big thank you to communications and marketing. You guys are always such a big support for us, and we're great partners. So thank you so much for having us, and thank you.
You guys make everything fun. Special events for life.
You know it.
Thanks, ladies. So there you have Brea's special events team, always bringing a smile to everyone's face. That's it for this episode of Brea Talks. Everything you just heard about here on this episode and much more can be found on Brea's website, cityofbrea.gov. This episode and all episodes of Brea Talks can be heard wherever you get your podcasts, as well as the City of Brea YouTube channel, Brea TV, and our Brea TV app. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, rate, and review, and we'll see you next time. Thanks again for listening in as Brea Talks.